In between of the Red Sea and the Dead Sea, situated at 316 kilometers from Amman, capital of Jordan, is there Petra, the rock capital city of the Nabateans. Petra was a city of wealth, prosperity, and enormous intelligence that allowed the Nabatean people to settle and even prosper in one of the harshest environments on earth. The city became the center of trade between the Middle East and the Roman Empire, which brought both wealth and power to its people. It also provided the resources for the construction of staggering tombs, monuments, and cities that turned the desert into an oasis. In addition, the confluence of cultures created a unique Nabatean art style which incorporated some of the greatest elements of architecture from all over the ancient world and has left an unmistakable mark on the harsh desert landscape. Originally a nomadic people from southern Arabia, the Nabateans arrived in what is now Jordan around the 6th century BC. Over time, they abandoned their nomadic ways and established Petra. The architectural style of the Nabateans was a mix of Assyrian, Egyptian, Hellenistic, and Roman influences that were incorporated into the unique architecture of Petra. The first monumental constructions were the numerous tombs surrounding the city. One of the first tombs constructed was the pyramid tomb, named for the four pyramids or memorial stele which stand across the top of its facade. The design of the tomb is unique in Petra or any other Nabatean site. This tomb is a perfect example of the combination of architectural characteristics that create the unique Nabatean style. This tomb incorporates Corinthian and Nabatean columns as well as enormous temple friezes which are carved from solid rock. Another enormous tomb was the Deir or monastery produced for the Nabatean king Hoboda III. This monumental construction comes with several enormous niches that hold statues that now stand empty. Its simple Doric frieze is comprised of alternating circular middle-piece and triglyphs, and all of the engaged columns on the face of the monument are in the Nabatean style. As the wealth and population of Petra continued to grow, King Aretas IV took the throne, described in inscriptions as he who loved his people. Aretas IV would begin the monumentalization of Petra and many other cities in the Nabatean kingdom. This process began with the construction of Petra's colonnade street. The street was 18 meters wide and bordered with columns, porticos, and various buildings. As this monumentalization continued, the citizens of Petra decided they needed a proper Greek theater. To build it required the destruction of numerous tomb facets. The great theater was built to the Roman standard for the shape, proportions, orientation, and stage design, and had a seating capacity of 5,000. To prevent its flooding during the desert winters, several channels were cut above and around the structure to divert water into cisterns. In ancient times, one of the most important factors that civilizations had to take in consideration was the water supply. The Nabateans created their water collection structures so that they would be invisible to passers-by, and so that they could only be found by those who knew of their presence. The complex systems collect water from mountains. They shape rocks into ledges to collect the initial flow of water from the mountain. The Nabateans are a prime example of a culture that was highly advanced for its time, as they had to understand hydraulics to create their impressive system of water collection. Through ingenious methods, they were able to create a water collection distribution system that allowed their people and the city of Petra to thrive for many years. The Nabateans were a prosperous and powerful civilization of traders that rose to power between the 4th century BC and the 2nd century AD. At the height of their power, the Nabateans controlled vast expanses of desert located in present-day Jordan. This region was highly strategic, was varied in terms of natural resources, had a few zones that were very fertile and cultivated, and most importantly was located in a position that controlled the caravan routes that crossed the Arabian Peninsula from the ports of both the Persian Gulf, and the Red Sea. Caravans that traveled across the Nabatean Empire were well known for selling incense, spices, oils, perfumes, and other luxury goods.